Hello guys. So it would appear as if Bitcoin is on a mission. Yes, obviously. As we all can see, Bitcoin appears to be on a journey, as if it's heading literally downtown. But let's put it up here on the charts in a second and see if we can figure out where exactly it's heading. But before we do that, let's pull up that clip. These candles, look at it. There's 1, 2, 3 of them, even let's say 4 of them with these prominent wicks. And these candles are incredibly accurate, guys. They don't lie. These candles, they don't lie. Any subsequent moves after this type of candle to the upside, any subsequent moves to the upside after a candle like this is an obvious fake out and a bull trap. Yes. So if ever you see Bitcoins get up and start to pump, trust me, it's a trap. You see, so I just want to let you guys know. I just want to mention it here so you guys have a record that I said it. This candle is incredibly powerful, and it's saying that there's more selling coming in the markets, that we have to look forward to more downside. And I wouldn't be surprised if before this month of November ends, we have one of these candles. You guys see that candle? This nice, fat, big, long red candle. We would have one of these red candles coming all the way down to quite possibly into the 80s. A big, long red candle, guys. Because I've told you before, I'm expecting it to come down here. Look at this. Where it previously had support right at 69 and resting perfectly on that purple line, coming all the way down here. You see, this is where I'm expecting Bitcoin to be coming to test out the 69K area. Now, guys, as you all have heard, I was expecting a very long red candle, even before this month of November was finished. Now, what is it that we have right here? What is this? What is this, guys? Oh my goshness. Guys, look at this. This candle is now even bigger than this one over here. Look at this. Now, many people are surprised at this candle. And as I stated, I told you guys that I wouldn't be surprised. And that's the truth. I'm not surprised. Why? Because I was expecting it. You see, I was expecting this from all the way up here. Because if you remember, I told you that these candles, even all 3, even 4 of them, were very indicative of more bearish activity that was coming. Because these wicks, these prominent wicks, they're very, very powerful. And they don't lie. And you see, I also told you all that whenever Bitcoin starts to crash, it may take many years to come up here, months to years. But whenever it is crashing, it's going to do so very quickly. And what are we seeing unfolding before our very eyes? Guys, this was just literally 2 weeks ago. You see, I said it. I said that I'm expecting a candle to come all the way down to $80,000, to 80 grand. And that's exactly what it did. Look at its all-time low. It came all the way down to $80,600, guys. And its all-time high was around 90 grand. You see, so Bitcoin, it's 24 hours. It's 24 hours. Yes, yeah. Its 24 hours high was around 90 grand, and its 24-hour low was $80,600. So basically, Bitcoin fell by $10,000 in just under 24 hours, or around 24 hours, which is just one day. And that's the exact same thing that I was discussing. That's what I was telling you guys, that whenever it's going to capitulate, whenever it's going to sell off, whenever the whales are going to start dumping, it's going to happen very quickly. It's not going to be, look how many months it took, because this is Bitcoin on the monthly. Look how many months it took to get up there from here. Many, many months. And look, this is just basically 1 month it took to cancel all of those gains, guys. And the month is not yet finished. This month is not yet finished. I tell you, I'm very, very interested to see come next week when this monthly candle is going to close. I'm very, very interested to see where it's going to close. You see, and that's what we're going to try to figure out here in this video here. We're going to look at some other price points to see where it's heading next, because I tell you that Bitcoin is on a mission. And look at it. If you guys notice it, it wants to crash. You guys see that Bitcoin wants to crash? The large majority out there, they're having hope. They're so hopeful for a bounce, and many of them are even saying, you know, they're calling for a bottom. I mean, come on, guys. Bitcoin is not going to be bottoming out unless it hits at least around 70, 69K, 70K area. That number that I've been mentioning for many months now, that I've been expecting it to test out, but we'll soon get back to that. It's not going to have any kind of bottoms until it at least tests out that area. So look at this. This is what you call a cascading waterfall, guys. Look at this. Look at this bearish activity right here. This is what you call a cascading waterfall. And it's just going to continue to capitulate, guys. This is the dumpage. This is what I've been warning you guys about for many months now. That when the time comes, the whales are going to dump not only Bitcoin, but the blue chips, they're going to dump severely. And it's playing out right now. What's happening right now, guys, is the playing out of the wealth transfer. Okay, so let's look at it. I just pulled it up here on the weekly. Look at this, guys. So I had mentioned that I was expecting it to come down to 80,000. In my previous video, I said that, if any of you guys want to know where Bitcoin is heading, let me tell you. Then I pulled it up and I said around 79.80, around this level. That's exactly where it came. Because why? How did I know it? Because it has a level of support right here. You see, and that's exactly where it's currently at. And we see as if it's forming this giant M, very, very bearish. And it's attempting to build support. So it has kind of a kind of strong level of support here. Kind of, it's strong, but not, So that means that it may potentially, I'm going to use the word potentially. It may chop around here, for a minute, and then either attempt to rally and then only to turn over and fail. It may do that, or judging by its recent behavior, it may just plow through it like a hot knife through butter. It may just do that, because you see, we just had that death cross right here, as you all can see. A very nasty death cross. Usually coming up in this bull run, whenever we had the death crosses like back down here, it was usually an indication of, further upside movements for Bitcoin. It did it right here. Then we had another death cross right here, and it was an indication that Bitcoin had created a local bottom. And so it proceeded to rally. And so we did it here, and a lot of people were expecting the exact same thing. But what I told you, once it tumbled and closed beneath 100K, it would nullify that trend. Let's call it a trend that it was doing. It would completely cancel and nullify that trend. So what it's doing now, it's capitulating and it's heading all the way down into the crypto abyss. Yes, it's heading down to the prophetic numbers, guys. That's exactly what it's doing. So it's currently holding here at 80. And where is it going next? I told you guys, look at this. Look at this line right there, where I put this line right here. Why? Because over here, it used it as a bottom. It's used this as a support right here, and it bottomed right here at 74. So it may attempt to do that again. That's exactly where it's heading, guys. Right at 74K to test it out and attempt to have like a bounce from there. So it's going to attempt to bounce. As a matter of fact, it will attempt to bounce anywhere from 74 to right where it's at, because that's where it built this level of support, right around from 74 to 80. So the level that is currently at, going all the way down to 74, it will be attempting to have a bounce. And I use the word attempt because it's more than likely going to fail, and it's going to, even if it rallies, it's going to be a fake out. It's going to turn around and head all the way back down to this very strong level of support around 60,000. This level of support is actually bigger. It's around from 49 to 69. That's how big this level of support is. So it's heading right in here. Right in here is where Bitcoin is heading. For any of you guys out there who wants to know, probably if you're thinking about shorting, Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure that you also know that if you're, an experienced trader, you have any type of experience with the charts, you know that Bitcoin is heading right down here. You see, it's heading right in this area right here. So you can take advantage of this knowledge. If you're considering shorting Bitcoin, it's heading right in here. So next, 74. I'm expecting to test out 69, which was its previous all-time high. Let me pull it up a little bit. Let us zoom out here on the monthly, so you guys can see 69. See, that's where the top of this bull run that occurred right over here, perfectly at $69,000. That's where it's heading. And there's also a possibility, again, I'm going to say it, that before this month closes, it may touch this line, 69K, guys, which also rests right around this purple line. Don't you guys see that that's where Bitcoin wants to go? It appears to be heading right at that purple line. Right there, guys. And like I said before, I'm very interested to see where this candle is going to close come next week, Sunday. I'm not sure, but sometime next week. So we have 1 week left, guys, for the closing of this very long, nasty candle here. And there's a possibility that it may get even longer. It appears to me that it's heading towards this purple line to try to make a bounce off of it. And I want to see if this monthly candle is going to be closed with, if it's going to create a wick, because we want to see the wicks. Why? If we look over here, all of these wicks were indicative of something, guys. You see these are all monthly candles here when it was creating this bottom. What were they indicative of? They were indicative of the bulls taking control. They were indicative of a market bottom. You see, of a bullish reversal. You see, so the wicks are very powerful. At the tops, they indicate the tops of rallies, like up here, perfectly. They were telling you that, look, the bears have taken over. We're heading downwards. Down here, it tells you that, look, the bulls are in charge. The bulls have taken over, and we're headed upwards. After facing all of this resistance, it tells you that the bulls are in charge right here. All of these prominent wicks. So what we'd want to see, if we're going to expect any type of bounce from Bitcoin, is on either this current candle or the next one, because usually these red candles come in at least 3. So I'm expecting even another red monthly candle for Bitcoin. So what we'd want to see on any one of these monthly candles is a prominent wick. We have to see a prominent wick after it closes forming on one of these monthly candles. So you guys might want to look out for that as well. So yes, guys, this is where it's heading. It's going to head and try to bounce off of this purple line right here. It sits perfectly at 69. And if it comes down here, it could, chop around. It could consolidate a bit in attempts to rally, to continue to create a bounce and to rally. So it may attempt to do that. But there's that other price point down here at 49, guys. And that's if it fails this very strong level of support. Will it do it? Personally, I think that it would be better. It would be healthier. As a matter of fact, if we were to head, as I've mentioned it before, if we were to head all the way up to, 150K to 200K, it would be better to have a bounce somewhere around here. So in my opinion, not financial advice at all, I personally would expect it to come down all the way, even down to 49K, guys. I believe that's exactly where Bitcoin is headed. Yes. So there's more pain to come. But on our parts, and for everyone that's been watching this channel, you're supposed to be perfectly positioned in the prophetic meme coins. I know that some of them are capitulating with Bitcoin. That's normal. I expected that. But just like this red candle here did not catch me off guard, and I was expecting it, in like manner, I'm expecting several of these prophetic meme coins to explode. I don't know which one will go first though, but I'm expecting it. And it won't be a surprise to me. It will probably surprise a lot of you, which it shouldn't be, because I've been telling you guys that at some point during Bitcoin's crash, which no one knows, at some point during or slightly thereafter, after it perhaps crash down to a price level and starts to consolidate a little bit, the liquidity is going to shift, and some of these prophetic meme coins are going to explode. They're going to take off, guys. It's coming. As a matter of fact, it's playing out right now. You see, whenever you look at coins, the prices of coins like Volt and Kishu, these coins are literally at the bottoms, are very, very, very near to bottoming out. Very, very near to bottoming out, guys. So it's all unfolding, and Bitcoin is setting up these meme coins for a historic, a monumental, an unprecedented explosion, guys. You see, the God candles are coming. They're loading. The God candles for these meme coins are literally loading right now, and Bitcoin is setting them up because the liquidity is coming. Not only from Bitcoin, but from the big blue chips like, your XRP, Cardano. As you guys see, all of those coins are being sold off. And the money's going to go somewhere, and we know that it's going to flow first into the prophetic meme coins. I tell you, Volt Inu, at any day, it's going to bottom and explode. The same thing with Kishu Inu. These coins have hit rock bottom. Okay, so yeah, like I said, next up is 69. If it fails, if it breaks through that very strong area of support, it's coming all the way at the bottom of that area of support, around 50 grand or 49K. The same thing, around 50K, right around there. Around 50 grand is where it's heading. That is where it's heading. But hopefully, let's hope that it breaks it. Yes, we would want that, because man, that would definitely be the setup for the wealth transfer. Let's hope it breaks that 50 grand area and heads all the way down to 20 grand. To 20, 22. That's a level of support. Let's hope that that's where it's heading. Because you see where it sits? Wow, that's 20 grand. My goodness, these levels of support, they're so perfect and symmetrical. Look where it sits on this candle right here, perfectly at 20 grand. Let's hope that's where it's heading. Yes, that is what we want. Because I tell you, all of these coins that we've been holding for so long, BNB Tiger, Kishu, WikiCat and all, that's when they will shine. They couldn't shine unless this Bitcoin falls, guys. It would have to fall first. Plenty of you guys want, several of your coins to pump, including a lot of you guys who've been holding XLM, XRP, Lunk, and all of these coins. They could just not pump, not with Bitcoin sucking up all of the attention and all of the liquidity out of the markets. Bitcoin would have first, it had to fall. It had to fall so that the focus could be shifted. The money could be shifted into these coins, you see. But you will see, it's playing out. So pretty soon you'll see much of what I've been saying. You'll get a better understanding why I've said it, because you will see how it plays out for yourselves. So there you have it, guys. Next up, 69K. Then if it breaks it, it's coming all the way down to 50 grand, or around 50 grand. And if we're to have a big bounce, it would come around this area, around the 50 grand area, 49, 50 grand area, if we're going to have any type of big bounces. But if it were to smash through 50 grand, 49K, we know where it's heading, 20 grand. At which point, when Bitcoin tumbles, the rising tide will push up other coins. That's where the two waves of liquidity that I've seen, that's how they're going to come in very, very violently, very suddenly, and most importantly, unexpected. They're going to catch everyone off guard. Even as this red candle here had managed to catch the majority out there off guard. It didn't catch me off guard though, because Yah had already, given me the visions about the two big crashes that were coming. So as a result, I was watching the markets keenly. Then I went into the charts, and wisdom showed me that, look, these wicks are speaking. I wonder who is listening, who's paying attention to these wicks. And so out of wisdom, I saw this move coming, guys. I saw it from a mile away. So there you have it, guys. I can't make this video any longer. I have to cut it short here. You guys, please take care of yourselves. Peace. Shalom. Until next time.